As a pastor, I'm asked all the time, do you practice what you preach? I could stand here before you and tell you absolutely. I use Credit Line IQ myself. I've used them for about a year. Before I even brought them into my congregation and had them share their service that they have to offer, me and my wife, Andrea, became a part of Credit Line IQ. We wanted to see firsthand what they did for us. What they did for us, they increased our credit score. They were knowledgeable and taught us some things that we didn't know. They took a look at our credit history. They took things off our credit report that we didn't know was on there. I hear testimony after testimony, time and time again, what the Credit Line IQ team is doing for people in my congregation. Yeah, you're going to have your skeptics out there. And Pastor, I would encourage you, before you bring this to your congregation, before you say, come on in and share with my people, I believe you have an obligation and you have a responsibility to your congregation to at least sit down and check it out. If you don't want to use this service, that's between you and them. But I will tell you this, the one thing I want to encourage you, to make sure that you check this out. Take a look at it and see how it can benefit you and benefit your people. One thing may benefit someone else that maybe another person doesn't need. I want to encourage you as a pastor. You and I, we have a responsibility to the flock to be a good shepherd. Not only spiritually, but also practically. That comes with financially. And I would ask you, what could your church do with a debt-free congregation? You and I have people that come through our church doors week in and week out that are down and out, feel helpless, but they're not hopeless, especially when it comes to their credit history. Credit Line IQ has the ability to set people free. People come in and out of our churches broken, and they come out and they leave restored because we have a message of hope, and that hope is in Jesus Christ. With Credit Line IQ, their past is not their potential. They have the ability to sit down. They come in there with this huge burden, but they leave realizing that there is hope for my circumstance. There is hope for my situation. I want to ask you as a pastor to think about with me just for a minute. What could your church do? What could you do for your community? What kind of outreaches could you do? What kind of mission trips could you go on? What kind of things could your body provide for others if they were debt-free? Think about that with me just for a minute. Some of us, we're slaves to debt. The Lord has called us to be slaves to no man. And we're to be good stewards of what we have. You know as well as I do, it says to bring your first fruit into the storehouse. People are struggling with that. Across the nation, we are seeing that income is going down. Tithe and offering is going down. Pastors are being released at an alarming rate. I want to encourage you, if you have the ability to give a financial blessing to another, would you not if you could? Before I let you go, I want to challenge you with one last thing. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And that's kind of a funny question, but think about it with me. What would you do if you could be debt-free? If you could be debt-free, you're not a slave to debt. You're free to give. You're free to do more outreach. You're free to go on more missions trips. You're free to start a building program. You're free to give more to your children's ministry, your youth ministry, your marriage ministry, your seniors ministry. Think about this. If you have the ability to help your people become debt-free, just think about the ways that it can advance the kingdom of God. I want to encourage you for a minute here. Have the Credit Line IQ team come into your congregation.